Peace, everyone. I pray all is well. Being someone that has gone through this mental illness, who has studied pharmacology, gone through the grueling process of testing medications on myself, I found that the whole process of receiving assistance on a professional level has not only been uncomfortable and even more depressing, but has actually perpetuated the experience. And that's in no way to say that one should not seek out professional help, but more so to give you an understanding of my personal experience, as I will be talking about this subject from different perspectives and with different kinds of intentions. And I would also like to add on that there are different kinds of professional assistance that you could receive, and the ones that I was engaging in were not the ones that I was actually needing to heal. What I could say is that on a soul level, I never resonated with the state of depression. I felt out of place in that state of being. My soul is joyful, it's curious, it's calm, it's fun. I like going all out because that's just the way I am naturally. Not everybody is like that, but for me, I want the best of the best for myself in all areas of my life. And so from that position, I was pretty much desperate to change, and that's why I took the initiative. I rejected social norms. I sought out, hesitantly, assistance from professionals. And I even went as far as to work in these environments, put myself in positions to get to know different doctors and different perspectives within the professional world, and spent years researching this topic as to be of servitude to myself and to those who are also experiencing depression, as I reached certain milestones on my journey in which I felt cured of this illness. One of the most interesting aspects of researching this topic as to be of service is really getting to know myself and the audience that I was communicating with. That is, familiarizing myself with communication styles of individuals who have experienced this or are experiencing this, natural inclinations, behavioral responses, tendencies in relationship to other people experiencing depression, in relationship to professionals trained to be of assistance, to friends, family, educational systems, as well as familiarizing myself with people who are in the opposite role or the supportive role. And none of this was anything new because I spent years doing this, seeking relief from my own depressed state of being. But as I liberated my mind from these mental, spiritual, and physical chains, I began to explore this topic from a completely different perspective, with the intentions of helping people see that the process of liberating the mind does not have to be so agonizing. We must break down, destroy, or eliminate the many destructive thought patterns and behaviors that create depression. And in many cases, there's an attachment to these destructive thoughts, beliefs, patterns of behaviors, often so much so that one's sense of self-worth is based on the validity of these beliefs and thoughts that create these debilitating patterns of behavior. Of course, the breaking down of these devastating beliefs and thought patterns can be uncomfortable. Sometimes it's excruciatingly painful. It could be damaging to one's sense of self-worth. But that doesn't change the fact that life must go on and we have to make changes so that we can live healthily on this earth. And over time, I came to realize that this is a matter of perspectives, evolution, individuality, creative expression, receiving proper guidance and support that's in alignment with quote sound and coherent states of mind and heart, and the connection between the two. So like I said, I'm drawn to the best version of myself. I'm drawn to seeking the best guidance. I was very aware of myself and monitoring the progress that I was making with my mental health. Initially, when I sought out the guidance or the professional advice and assistance, I was operating only from my own level of awareness, which was extremely limited, unhealthy, and it was based on what I had learned throughout my life to be acceptable or commendable, the influences around me, as well as what was encouraged to be a means of healing depression and all of the other ailments that create such a state of being. It wasn't until I was utilizing other modalities where I was taking matters into my own hands, where I was seeking my own guidance in a sense. Yes, I was receiving guidance from other beings, but it was my own natural inclination to do certain things, such as meditating and exercising even more, or isolating myself. That was something that I noticed where people encouraged me to be around other people, but I felt called to just isolate myself, to be in my own energy, to just not even interact with people. I felt called to focus on my body, exercise my body, stretch my body, and learn about different forms of health care, of taking care of the self, of taking care of your mind and your body, and exploring your soul. So for me, that looked like doing what I love to do, playing guitar, singing, making music, connecting with people that I wouldn't normally connect with. I started to recognize the contrast between how it felt when I would go seek help from professionals and how it would feel when I just spent time in nature. I just spent time meditating, or stretching my body, focusing on my physical vessel for hours at a time. I started noticing how I felt going out and doing fun things. And I understand that sometimes when you're depressed, you really don't want to do those things. So sometimes you have to push yourself to do things that you don't want to do. The culture around depression, it makes you very dependent on things that are outside of you. It kind of keeps you from trusting your better judgment. A big reason why I feel like I experienced depression was because I was listening to people outside of myself. I was accepting these social norms as to be accepted, as to feel loved, as to participate in what everybody was saying was fun. And ultimately, it degraded my physical vessel. It degraded my mind's ability to function properly. And so taking these medications just really put me in that headspace of, I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like I wanted to express myself authentically. I didn't even care about doing all those things that once meant so much to me. Yeah, at that time I was experiencing depression, but it was better to have the depression or experience depression and simultaneously have those highs where I actually feel normal. I actually feel like myself. I wasn't constantly depressed. There's many different kinds of depression. So familiarizing yourself with what you're actually experiencing, inquiring with yourself, trusting yourself. You don't have to listen to what everybody else is telling you to do, because you are the main guide. You are the one who heals yourself. Nobody's ever going to be able to heal you of your depression. No external source is ever going to be able to heal you of depression. The main healer is you. And there's so many ways that you can go about that. And so if you ever feel as though something is not serving you, if you ever feel as though you are being coerced to move in a direction that does not resonate, don't go there. Listen to your intuition, listen to yourself, and do what feels right. Even the opposite. If somebody's telling you, oh, don't do medication, that's not going to make you feel better, but you feel inwardly called to go do that, then go explore, go on your journey. But recognize that a lot of this depression comes from the things that are degrading your mind's ability to function properly. It comes from all the things that are degrading your body's ability to function and communicate properly. It comes from overextending yourself. because you feel like you have to. You want to placate people, you want to be there for people when you don't have the capacity to show up for somebody. There's different kinds of selfish. Be selfish enough to show up for yourself and do what's good for yourself. And that's not actually selfish. It's more selfish to go against what you know you need to do for yourself for the sake of being accepted by somebody outside of you. And so there's a lot of influences in this world, or maybe in your immediate surroundings, that will just really want you to stay in that same position of engaging in toxic behaviors, will really want you to continue to perpetuate this. Perhaps because they care about you, or perhaps because they need validation in their own toxic behavior. But at the end of the day, you need to make a conscious decision to move out of that space and to do what you need to do for yourself. There is no need to please people anymore. There is more of a need now than ever to show up for yourself, and shifting the perspective from making a conscious decision to choose yourself as the real way to show up for people. People think that if you don't show up for them in some kind of a toxic endeavor, and you choose to do your own thing, to do what you know is good for you, that means you're not showing up for them. But in reality, you are showing up for them, and you are showing up for humanity when you make that decision to do what's best for you. Okay, so maybe your friends want to go out and party all night for a birthday, but you know for a fact that you have work to get done at home. You know for a fact that you need to rest. You know for a fact that you have to prepare for the next day. And people will call you names. People will say negative things about you and bring you down. And that might be a cause for you to go and say, you know what, I'm going to put my needs to the side and go, because I need to show up for this person. You're not showing up for that person anymore. You're actually doing the opposite, and you're not showing up for yourself. If you're not showing up for yourself, you're not showing up for anybody. And this is the shift in perspective that needs to happen in order for you to really empower yourself to do what's right. Because if you genuinely believe that showing up to do something for the sake of somebody else's emotional need and attachment to you, then you're never going to be able to get out of that headspace, out of that place, and you will contribute to your depression in that sense. And that's just one of many examples, but you can relate that to many different areas of your life. So I pray that that was helpful in any way, and if you feel like this was helpful, then share it with somebody. Hit the like on my video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell notification. All those things are helpful for the channel, and if somebody can benefit from this, then I will be fulfilled in this endeavor. So I appreciate you guys. Do what's good for you. Forget everybody else. Do what's good for you.